I am Colin Sheppard, and I came to St Kilda 86, and it was because I was working for a company called Aerial, and they took me on as the creative window display guy back in the early 80s. I became very good friends with the owner of Aerial Menswear, it was, that I worked for, and he asked me if I would like to join him with a shop, a franchise shop to do together. And I said, love to, and he said, where do you want to do it? Any idea? And I said, St Kilda, full stop. This is when St Kilda was just starting to move away from the dark heroin days. It was a little bit of colour coming back into the place, and that's what interested me. We opened a shop on Fitzroy Street down the very end, the water end. It was called Aerial to begin with, but then unfortunately my partner who owned the Aerial business had to do a lot of things in Sydney, so he gave the shop to me. So I took over, got a new partner in, Mark Pasala, who was quite a good friend of mine. He's unfortunately no longer with us, but another great partner we had was Karen Webster, and Karen ended up taking over the whole of Melbourne Fashion Week and RMIT Fashion. My partner, Brett Gillespie, was the lecturer for fine arts printmaking back in RMIT back in the 90s, early 90s. So because of what he was showing me, all the different types of printing that he was involving himself with his students every day, I just thought, yeah, we have got to do this. So we spent most of the time out the back printing rather than in the shop. You know, people would come in and we'd just think, well, who's going out now? We had too much fun creating. The very first shop that I opened in St Kilda was a retro shop, which we then went back into manufacturing for Fitzroy's shop. And it was a garage in Smith Street, off Barclay Street. And it was called Swamp Thing. And it was. It really was a swamp thing. It was grungy, and most shops that come to the doorway to open for business, they've got to go through a nice little opening. We just pulled up the garage door and we had racks on sticks and with rope, and like sticks that we'd find on the ground. We had sticks for our wardrobe, for our stock. So just finished at the College of Decoration learning signwriting, and I was taught by the bikies, believe it or not. I still can't believe that. I was taught by the God Squad to signwrite. I mean, it's such a porthole I come from. How did that happen? Bikies taught me to signwrite, and they knew all the extreme, the shadow blocking and the extreme decorative stuff around all the edges, which is quite Art Nouveau-y. So when I first went into signwriting, I spent a lot of years, probably 2 years after I entered the world of signwriting. I started hearing, oh, it's a dying art, just like you said before, and you're dead right, it did. It died off completely because people just pushed a button and spat it out and stuck it on the wherever they're putting it. And it was so sad because it is an art form, without doubt. It's definitely an art form. It's all freehand, yeah. The detailed lettering I have to map out a bit, but it's just, I think you learn how to quickly scribble something with a bit of chalk and then go over it and make it perfect. one that really did a lot for me was Gavin and Sonia from the Dogs Bar came running out one day and said, "We don't know who you are. We love what you do. We've heard so many of our clients have told us, yes, you've got to get him." Which is really lucky. I've had a great amount of respect throughout the community in my time. Very lucky. The Dogs Bar, I said to them, "So what's the brief? What would you like me to do?" It's an Art Deco period building. It's not what you would describe as Art Deco, but it's from that period. And they just said, "Do whatever you want." That was the brief, do whatever you want. So I just took over and covered every single wall with Art Deco graphics, and that opened the door like wildfire. Like, it's just, everything just went bang, 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 straight after that job. So I have had a great history. I've had a great life. I've had a great life, and it's all because of my parents. Everything is because of my parents. And I know I've got something inside me that's creative, but it was dragged out by them. My dad had an eye on me all his life, and he just had this documented period where he kept it in his head, and he never really spoke to me about it. But when I left high school, he said, "You're going to art school." And I went, "Are you kidding? You're a bricklayer, and you're in this blokey world, and you know about me? You want to send me to art school? Are you kidding?" I still walk in a certain area every morning and thank goodness for Dad. You know, I still thank him every single day of my life. St Kilda's a place like no other, and I know that people say that about several things in life, but I think St Kilda's just singled itself out as I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's all by itself.